Welcome to Creative Introspections, where we present a series of discussions about various approaches and developments in the field of arts therapy. Creative Introspections welcomes experts and anyone who has an interest in exploring how art can be used to heal. My name is Colin Black, and I'm here with my co-host, Mojca Kasjak.
Today we have special guests from Slovenia, Katja Jarc. She's a primary school teacher, arts therapist, and also Gestalt pedagogue and Gestalt consulting. And also she works in the field she's an expert for marriage and family therapist. Welcome, Katja. I think this is really nice journey. I mean, with your education. And before we enter, it would be nice to hear how you manage all this education, like step by step.
Yeah, thank you. Hello. Well, first, when I came to study in Ljubljana, from my hometown Tolmin, I started to go to Faculty of Education to start to be a teacher, to primary teacher. And then I also worked in a school for some years. And this time then I saw that it would be really nice to have some more knowledge about some things. And then I went to the Arts Therapies, and then I finished this. And in this time, I also included some of this stuff I tried to include in my work in a school. But then I was still missing something. And so I saw that there was in theology faculty, there was one open course for Gestalt. And then I said, okay, that would be really interesting. And it was. I was really happy with this because we have like 4 weekends. Also, we slept there together. So for 3 days, every 2 months. And it was really intensive. And then I also went away to be a consultant. And and I'm still doing now to train students with this Gestalt pedagogy. And then, and marital and family therapy was one thing that I want to improve some knowledge about how to work with adults or with families. And so, then I tried also this and finished. And it was, so I combine everything, and it's really good. In many times, everything is fine to know.
And I believe that you studied Gestalt theory in the Faculty of Theology. How was that? Was there religious content as well, or was it purely psychological?
Yeah, it's open for everyone, so everyone can join. Of course, there is also a religion included, but it's like in such a way that everyone can get from this. So what's the importance, the value is. So mostly it's like for a lot of art. So it was dancing, it was doing with clay, drawings, and then it was really good how to deal with groups. So there I got a lot of knowledge about how to work with group and how to do with these drawings, how to lead, and because everyone was included, and now I do this with the students.
And today we invite you to present us your research that you did in 2008. It's really, really amazing because you did in Sarajevo, which was the post-war area. So we are looking forward. Maybe Colin, a little bit of explanation for the participants about the unmute and mute microphones, please.
Yes, just make sure that you've got your microphones on mute. And when it comes to question time, there's a reaction button in Zoom. Could you please click on the reaction button and raise your hand if you would like to ask a question?
Thank you, Colin. And Katja, is your time for presentation. Thank you.
Today we will say more about this international volunteer humanitarian project that was held in Sarajevo in 2008. And at the beginning, I will say more about like a little bit of Bosnian war, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and some pictures to represent this feeling of black hole, and then some words about this humanitarian project, and then about my specialistic work, how I did this, and with some interpretations, and then it will be time for questions at the end. So if we look about this project history, yeah, the war in Bosnia ended 26 years ago, and it lasted from 1992 at the beginning of April till 14th of December 1995. And these humanitarian projects have been running since 2004, and they have included working with children, adolescents, and adults. They were organized by European Association of Music Therapy students, and they were 4 times in Mostar and then in Sarajevo once. So here I put a map just to see where is Bosnia and Herzegovina. So we were here in Sarajevo, and yeah, it's in Balkan, and this is the flag of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So the project was organized by Slovenian Association of Arts Therapies, and project leaders and supervisors were Špela Loti Knoll, she's an academic musician and music therapist from Slovenia, and Claudia Knoll, now Claudia Bajs, music therapist from Germany. And there was also external supervisor, Dr. Eckhard Weyman. He's from Germany, and he's also a music therapist and supervisor. So some characteristic of this post-war area was that the first years here after war was this international aid came mostly in material goods, but this place needs much more psychosocial assistance, because this war trauma is deeply inside of this, the souls of these generations of the population, and we could really feel this a lot. And like in every war, there's a lot of, it needs a lot of time to recover from the war. So if we look a bit about a brief history of this war, yeah, there was an international armed conflict in these years of 1992 and 1995, and there was a lot of violent incidents even earlier in the year, also in 1991. And first 2 years, there was a planned ethnic cleaning of Bosnians by Serbs and then by Croats. And as you can see here, these numbers, there were a lot of war victims, a lot of refugees, and these numbers are really high. And when we were walked there, it was really a lot of cemeteries around, and it's really hard to see this. So like if we look on this map, there are 3 ethnic groups that live there on the territory of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosniaks, 47%, Serbs, 34%, and Croats, 19%. So if we look about the religion, the Bosniaks are mostly Muslims, Serbs, Orthodox Christians, and Croats, Catholic. And there is, of course, different language like Bosnian, Croatian, and Serbian language. So it's really a mixture here, and this causes then, of course, then the problems. But as we were living there, it was so, even for people, it was so hard to understand when we talked with people that years ago they said we live together, all together, like Bosniaks, Serbs, Croats, in the near houses, and we like each other, there was no problem. But when the war starts, like we started to hate each other and to kill each other, and this was like, so even now when I talk with you, it's I remember these words, and it was really hard to listen this how these people suffered. So these are some pictures from when we were walking there in around Sarajevo, in the places where we have our therapies. Yeah, there were still evidences around. So yeah, these places of cemeteries are a lot of them and all around, and it's yeah, it's huge. And as you can see here on other statistics, a lot of women were sexually abused, raped, a lot of prisoners in camps, inhuman living conditions. So like you even can't, it's hard to even to look at these numbers. And there was the siege of Sarajevo. This was one of the longest in modern military history. And yeah, this fighting around the city began 5th of April, 1992, and the city was completely surrounded by 2nd of May, 1992. And it remained until February 25th, 1996. Although the fighting around the cities has stopped a few months earlier. And so this place like Sarajevo was closed, and this siege of the city took place during the Bosnian War. And yeah, this was like, it's really some place of I can see here the picture that that there were more than 12,000 people killed and more than 50,000 injured during the siege. And this huge number of deaths and refugees means that the population decreased to 63% of pre-war population here in Sarajevo. So again, like large numbers. I'm telling you this just to know the feelings where we were going on, and also for us was this a good preparation to know what's going on and how it is. So this Sarajevo tunnel, maybe you know about this. It was also known the Tunnel of Rescue and Tunnel of Hope, and was constructed between this March and June 1993 to help people that were living in Sarajevo. And it was built by the Bosnian army in order to link the city of Sarajevo, which was cut off by Serbian forces. And the tunnel linked the Sarajevo neighborhood, there of Dobrinja and Butmir, so it was also the name Tunnel DB. And it was really good because it was allowing food, war supplies, humanitarian aid, and this can come into the city through this tunnel, and also allowing people to get out. And the tunnel became a major way of bypassing the international arms embargo and providing the city defenders with weaponry. So this is the picture of this tunnel we went to visit. So yeah, it was under the city. And if you can see also this picture here, how Serbian forces were all around, and there was free Bosnian territory and Sarajevo here in the middle. So yeah, it was all surrounded, and if there would be this tunnel, people would be without food and without all these necessary things. So this is really a symbol of human sacrifice, determination, and courage. Now you can visit a little bit of this tunnel. And this scholar family, they also made here a small museum, and they want to create a monument as a reminder to later generations. So here inside, you can see some of these pictures that I showed here. This is inside of like small museum. So this is also this is a picture how it was inside. So it was a long tunnel. Then I mentioned a post-traumatic stress disorder. This is an acute stress reaction after 2 to 3 days that everyone experiences. But post-traumatic stress disorder develops within a few weeks to a maximum of 6 months. An adaptation to the disorder due to personal factors takes 1 to 6 months. It can also have a delayed development. And some various traumatic events are like natural disasters, technological disasters, sexual abuse, refugees, political violence and sexual violence, criminal violence, war and conflict, and even some more. So all of these that are here mentioned were also there in Bosnian War. And these symptoms may include like disturbing thoughts, feelings, dreams that are related to the events, and some mental and physical distress. And for young children, it's less likely to show distress, but they can appear this in their play. So they can play with other children some games that that there you can see about these traumatic events. And also a person with this post-traumatic stress disorder have a higher risk of suicide and self-harm. Here I will show you some pictures from Edo Murtic. The name was Ratni Cyklus, like war cycle. And you can just have a feeling when you look at these pictures. There will be some more. What you can observe and what feelings come into your mind and into your body when you look these colors, what is images. Yes, and I mentioned before this black hole. I just put something when what I found in internet, but I tried to explain what is this, but it was for me like it's even difficult to say in words because it's really such an emptiness and something invisible. And when you were there in Sarajevo, after sometimes I could say I really felt this black hole, and even it's difficult to express in words. And yes, it's something something difficult. I don't know how to say, but yeah, here is some words. It's a metaphor for terrifying sense of inner emptiness and invisibility. But yeah, everyone can feel it also differently. Even some more pictures of these feelings. Still from the same artist. As you can see, what are the most colors that represent is red and black, and yeah, and all of these pictures were inside of this building. And in this building, it's written there that in the night from 25th to 26th of August 1992, they put a fire in this library. And there was more than 2 million of books and yeah, everything, documents, and wherever what was inside was gone. And really, do not forget this, remember and admonish, because everything was gone. It's hard to think like how anyone can do this. Yeah, and some more pictures before we started, like we looked around, there was houses empty, destroyed. Some dogs, they were empty, walking around, waiting for anyone. And there is, of course, another thing of Sarajevo. When you were there in the center of Sarajevo, of course, there were a lot of other things that we were used before. So you can buy many stuff. Here there were men and kids playing outside. Most, if you see, they are just men and boys. In Baščaršija, which is a special place in the middle, in the center of Sarajevo, a lot of people walking there. In some way, you can see, okay, it's normal. There it's everything okay. Yeah, just if you have just a brief walk, maybe you can think like this. But when you are there longer time, then you see that it's not really like this. Okay, and then I put also some of the two typical things that we know, about burek and pita, that it's really typical. With cottage cheese is called sirnica, with spinach and cheese zeljanica, with zucchini tikvenjača, with krompirusha with potatoes. They say pita, and this was one of the things that we mostly eat when we were working in the center. And Bosnian coffee, that is always then served with sugar and locum. So then the whole course of the project was a preparatory weekend. We started in Slovenia for 1 weekend. There we have all of us presentations of selected topics. And we also had a concert in the church at this summit of the Holy Three Kings, Vrh Svetih Treh Kraljev. And we were selected from 6 different European countries. So the Netherlands, England, Scotland, Germany, Denmark, and Slovenia. And on the way to Sarajevo, we went to Sarajevo by train. And this was 12 hours. And it was really good because in this time we had time to know more about each other. We determined our work teams, so who will work together with who. And then we also selected institutions for work. So each work team worked in 2 institutions and had 2 therapy groups twice a day. And this is the place when we were settled. It was called Land of Friendship and Peace. Really nice name for all of this. And also really nice place. This was really outside of Sarajevo. So we needed around 2 hours by foot, by train, by bus to go to Sarajevo, and then again to walk to our institutions. So it was really the whole day project to work in these institutions. And here you see horses, and here was also a hippotherapy then. So institutions, we worked in daily center for mentally handicapped adults, daily family center for children with developmental disabilities, school for the blind and visually impaired for children and adolescents, different orphanages, and hippotherapy was there, as I mentioned, and the Land of Friendship and Peace. And here is one picture of this hippotherapy. 2 girls from our group worked here in some kids with hippotherapy. I worked with the girl from Denmark in a school for the blind and visually impaired for children and adolescents, and in a daily family center for children with developmental disabilities. So here I put some pictures because then I will talk about this daily family center for developmental disabilities. So as you can see here, these children were, many of them were really blind, so totally blind. So we mostly worked with drums. So we put there a big drum that they can hold it. We put a hand, so my hand and their hand on a drum that they can feel where is the drum. And we mostly, another girl, this one from Denmark, she played on a piano, and then I was with them and sometimes hold here and do some rhythm on their back, and they then did on a drum. So, and we tried to sing, even if they couldn't speak with us, but they felt all of this. And I had a feeling that they were really happy for this, what happened, and they showed this happiness to us. And it was really a nice time working with them. Okay, so then what was the weekly work schedule? On Mondays, we always have workshops that we introduce to each other. So me and my friends introduced some dance movement therapy workshop, then another two girls introduced art workshop, and so on. And we also have a hippotherapy on Mondays. From Tuesday to Friday, there was two times daily therapy. Then we always have a team meetings from Monday to Friday in the evenings. And one of us lead the group. And there was also interventions and supervisions for work teams and a group supervision. Sometimes also a horse came to see us, yeah. So this was this picture. So it looks like this. This was our workshops as we were working on. So this picture is from dance movement therapy, some methods. Then on weekends we were free, so we went to visit Mostar. We went in spa to relax a bit, to see some source of River Bosna. And of course, we also cooked alone there in this house. We prepared also bread. And so this was really a good time to be together and also to relax a bit of these feelings that were inside of us and of Sarajevo. So we talked a lot, and this was a really good place that we were not, that we didn't stay in the center of Sarajevo, but outside. And the closing weekend was in Sorica in Slovenia. There also came external supervision, this Eckhart Wayman, and then we talked about what maybe about our feelings, because this was then later in some weeks, how we felt about the project, if there is anything that is still inside us that we wanted to tell and to express. And then about my specialistic work, the name was Integration of Dance Movement Therapy and Music Therapy Methods for Children with Special Needs in the Post-War Area. It was quite many things to say in this work, because it was an integration of two therapies, then was children with special needs and post-war area. So a lot of things to mention. It's also, you can find it in this link. So if you type in internet, you can find it and read more about this in Slovenian. So here is one African proverb that I like. If you can speak, you can eat. If you can move, you can dance. And from Henrik Heine, that music begins where the word ends. This was one thing that I try to feel it in myself. So motives for choosing this theme was, I really want to know how is this combining the methods. How will this be? Because when I met this student, we didn't know each other so before, and we tried to do a lot of things just by looking to each other. She didn't know the language of these kids, and she didn't understand. So we'll use a lot of unverbal language. And of course, there is a lack of quality programs. I was looking forward how it's this short-term implementation in this post-war area. And also that this would be more accepted in the Balkan countries and upgrading this. So the purpose and the goal was how to promote verbal and non-verbal communication, creativity, and free expression. Social interactions by connecting these methods of movement, dance, and music therapy. reducing the consequences of war trauma, and raising the quality of life of these children, and establish a safe and trusting relationship, and improving psychophysical well-being. Okay, then the purpose was to monitor the effects of group, integrative movement, dance, and music therapy methods on strengthening the mental health of children with special needs in post-war environment. And the research problem was more about these children with special needs, acceptance of them, their differences and their diversities, and the problems that I saw, like speech, language, movement, behavior, mental development, attention, eye contact, social contact. So this was all that I saw, and I want to research more. How is this? And the central goal was to find out how this connecting method of these two therapies can promote this verbal and non-verbal communication, creativity, free expression, and better social interaction. And the broader goals was, of course, improving eye contact, calming down, more relaxation, secure, trusting relationship, positive self-image, better well-being. So all the other things that happened during the therapies. These are the research questions that are connected to all what I said before. So verbal, non-verbal communication, creativity, free expressions, and social interaction. These were three main points that I wanted to know. So this was a group case study. There were 8 children from about 4 to 9 years old, 4 girls, 4 boys in Daily Family Center. They had like diagnosed clinical picture of Down syndrome and autistic disorder. They have really poorly developed graphomotor and speech skills, so most of them, they didn't talk, or it was really difficult to understand them, even if I know and understand their language. But yeah, and also they have really really bad eye contact. So and also their social, they were socially very insecure. This I just put here some of these measuring, but you can see more if you wanted to know more in my work. So what I can just say here was that it was really good to write a therapeutic diary every day, what happened, and also to video some of these things. Of course, we asked them if we can make some videos. And to do some then analysis after this. And also we did interview of employees there, and also with parents of these children. So we use rhythmic instruments, also some guitar and ethnic instruments, some Bosnian flute, Bolivian frog. So all what we have with us. And for moving, we use some small ball and colorful scarves. I can say that this was not really like a really open and nice place to work, because this place when we worked was really small, and this means that, and it was on the roof, so really on the top, so I couldn't stand there. So so then you can imagine how to do this and how to work some movement there. Yeah, it was all about improvisation. Because it was such a small place that we were 4 kids and we 2. So it was 6 of us, and it was just the place was full. So yeah, every time we need to improvise how to do this in this, because this was all what they can give us. As I mentioned, we have 2 therapy groups with 4 children. This was altogether 7 therapeutic meetings twice a week for 40 minutes. So it lasted around 1 month. So improvisation, listening, coordination, creativity. So this was really one of the most important things that we use here, because sometimes the language was a barrier. So and it was really good to talk to parents and to employees, to tell them how we do, what we work, that they can, when we left, that they can also try to do something with the instruments, with movement. So yeah, we really wanted to give them some things to work with these children. Always we started with introduction song. This was a good day, so Dobar dan, with greetings to all children. So this was really a good song, where we started to sing with them, and it was always the same beginning and the same conclusion. And the closing song was goodbye, and invitation to the next meeting. And in the central part, there was some musical and movement expression. It was really good that we were two of us, that if some kid has really some problems, or he wants to stand or to go somewhere, that one of us did separately with this kid, and another with another 3 kids. Okay, so then after this, we always talk together, me and the girl from Denmark. We write what happened in this session, and then report some special forum. So these are some pictures from these kids. So you can see, so this was, yeah, small place, and the instruments that we had with us, so we carried with us from home. This drum was always very special, and they really liked it. And as you can see, they were smiling and making eye contact later in some sessions. And this was like, wow, really, we were so happy for this, because maybe at the beginning we had really big goals, what we can do and what we can achieve. But then after first session, then we said, okay, it would be really good to just to see these small things that happened during the session. And this was, yeah, when they start to smile, when they come to us, and yeah, it was really a great feeling to see these kids, that they were happy. And enjoying this time with us, because maybe some of them, they don't have, or well, they didn't have such time that parents have time for them to be with them. Parents have their own problems. These parents were in war, so you can imagine how are their feelings then. Yeah, and then the interpretation of the results. Yeah, at the end, I see that combining both methods was really good, and this encourages verbal and non-verbal communication. They started to talk. Some of them, they never say that they never say any word at the beginning. And they start to do something with their bodies, so that they can show us that they are happy with what we are doing. There are some different methods also encourage creativity and free expression. So these children were really open. So we mostly, what we did was like to play with the instruments quick and slow, quiet and loud, to do a lot of improvisation. So it was not something really difficult, but for them was this really important, and they could follow it, and that was wonderful. And also these combining methods also have contributed to the establishment of new social bonds. And yes, you can see that their socialization was better, eye contact was better, and yeah, we were really happy for these small steps. So we saw that there were all positive changes in all children. yeah, we try to do safe and trusting relationship. This was the most important, even if we didn't do any other things, but this was the most important. And we can see that they felt better. They improved their communication, strengthened social interactions, creativity, coordination of movements, eye contact. They were more calm than at the beginning because they were really active around, but this place couldn't allow this. So they were also relaxed more. They have more attention, more concentration, and more self-confidence. So at the end, I was, both of us, we were really happy for what we achieved. Of course, it was not long, these 7 sessions, but as I said, it was better than nothing. So and I think that if just a small piece they took from this, it was the best. So at the end, we saw that also it was a short therapy course, but it was effective. And it was good that we were 2 different art therapists. It was good. And these combining methods from movement, dance, and music therapy was really fine. And so these methods in war and post-war traumatic stress disorder, it's really a good combination. Also to relax their bodies and their minds. So this is the ending, and I can just say that yeah, these lives of children with special needs in the post-war area was for these kids in this time we see as a good good thing and a good time that we share with them. And really, thank you for your attention. I'm happy that I can share this. It's always nice to think about this project, because it's when you do something voluntarily, it's always such a great feeling. So I just followed the sound I liked, and just follow your body. And it's time for questions. If you have any questions that I can answer, I would be glad. And if you want to know some more specific things about this project, you can have this specialization work and read more, because there it's written more specific how we did this, what we observe. Thank you.
Thank you, Katja. Now it's time for questioning. So please use this reaction that we will know how to make an order of for questions. Maybe Colin, you have some questions?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm thinking, how important was it to have the diary that you mentioned? How much value did you get from reflecting and creating a diary through the process? And how did that feed into your analysis of your research?
Yeah, the diary, I see the diary as a very important, because everything what happened in the session, we wrote down in the diary. So which kids were there, because sometimes, you know, you never know what happened. When we came in the institution, maybe there will be 1 kid, 2, 3, you never know what happened. And we wrote down all who was there, and what happened, what we use, what kind of instruments we use, how we what kind of like movement we use, because we in this small place it was just yeah, really challenging. So yeah, and also we wrote down what it would be good for the next time, what to do for the next session, maybe what we observed. So if there was a better eye contact, what we can do more for the next time. And so everything. And also when I came home back to Slovenia, this diary was really important also to write down this work. Yeah, also to watch then the videos that we made was really important, because then you can observe much more when you look more and more what happened in the session.
Did you notice some patterns emerging out of the videos, or common themes coming out of the data as you reflected or went back over the diaries and the videos?
Yeah, yeah, I just watched also today, and these days these videos again, like and yes, every time when I watch these videos, I can see something different also, because even I'm changing, and then I can see even more things than maybe before. So what was really good inside to see, because we didn't do the whole session, the movie, so just some part, because we were alone there, so I really didn't like to use a lot of these cameras, because then this is they always felt this if we use something. So I just have really small videos and just maybe a minute, so really little, because the most important was that we work with children, so to be there, to be with them. But these small videos that I had, yeah, I can see how they're so happy that they can have these instruments. Maybe some of them never touched before the drum. So and as you can see, their eyes, this happiness and this yeah, so happy that that somebody is with them and that somebody is interesting in them.
Do you think that you would write the report differently now than when you did at the time? Now that, like you've just said, that you've changed, when you look at these videos and you look at the something in you has changed. Would you write a slightly different analysis or report or thesis now than before?
Maybe, of course, some things maybe I would write differently, maybe, but this what I wrote is the thing that happened, and this is for sure the thing that was really fine, and what I saw. But maybe now some small things that maybe this time I was not so I was not looking so much, but now when I was looking these videos, I didn't have a feeling to look what is different, but I just looked as to have a feeling how it was, how were these kids, and it's really touching also now when I see this, because it's longer time that I didn't see these videos. So
Thank you, Katja. I think
Alenka,
Alenka raised her
yeah,
hand. Yes, Alenka, please.
just the microphone.
How I wanted to ask you how it influenced you. I mean, when you've been there, did you have, maybe you said, and I missed the information, but how did you take care about yourself? Did you have kind of a supervision, and how it was organized between you? Because you've been a bigger group, and how was it organized?
Yeah, I mentioned some of these, but yes, no problem. So yeah, we always have intervisions and supervision. So every day, first of all, we have, so me and this girl after the session. Then in the evening, we have, we all together have a group supervision. And then also on Mondays, we have even longer supervision. So it was, and intervisions with just two of us, our work team with Spela or Claudia. So yeah, this was really important part, that we can that we can talk about what happened inside of us, because sometimes was really difficult because they were challenging with the groups, with us, all of the feelings that were going on, just walking inside of these places in Sarajevo. So yeah, sometimes they were crying, and it was, yeah, it was a lot of things happens. So the important part was this, that we were together living and that we talked together a lot, that we spent time together also for weekends that was a little bit relaxed. This was an important part because otherwise through the week was quite intense, mostly about this surrounding and the feelings that happened of this post-war.
So you would say that you did take care for yourself during that time. You have had the opportunity to take care for yourself.
Yes, because otherwise would be really difficult to go the next day and to do again the session. So yeah, because these 2 sessions per day were really intense. So sometimes we have one after another, and just a little break in between. And yes, you never know what happened, because children didn't understand us, we didn't. So yes, where it was many things that happened during these sessions, that even me and my colleague, yes, of course, we know just for for the first session, we know just a couple of days. So it was really important that I trust her, that this girl trust me, and sometimes I just looked at her, and as she had the guitar, and I just said, like, it means, okay, please start playing at the guitar, because now we need the guitar. So many times it was just talking with eyes, with eye contact. So yeah, I think that here was really the feeling inside, with kids and with a team that I worked together. This was yeah, just to be present. I mean, to be present in this moment there. I think this is the most important thing. There was no place to think about what I will do later, what I will eat, or anything. Just to be there for 40 minutes, totally.
So to be present was the
yeah.
Okay.
And improvisation all of the time. Improvisation, creativity, everything that I was learned before, it was useful. So also the things that I learned to be a primary teacher was useful, anything, because sometimes you just need to improvise in the second, and there was no chance to think and to sit, what to do. No. So this is one of the things that that was challenging, but I like this part, to be creative and to do something else if it is needed. Like I said, if one kid needed some special time because one was really active, and so then one of us was with him and another was with the other 3. But we never know what will happen in the session. So
thank you,
and
Katja.
for the blind children, there was different, because they were, of course, they were sitting because they were really blind, so that was different situation. But then there was other things that we need to learn, how to deal with the one who can't see, who can't say anything, because they were really disabled. So and even it's hard for you when you are there, and but as you can see from their eyes, that this happiness and this trust, and yeah, and you are happy for this.
Thank you. I have one question. For example, after when you finished, did you get any feedback what happens later with those children, you know, because this was organized, you know, and it was systematically approached, you know, but what happened later, for example, I mean, also, do you have any information about other programs with art therapies, like 2009, 10, or different years?
No, not really. Even about this, what happened with these kids, then later I don't have any contact. Then later I just asked this daily center for handicapped children if I can write about these kids to do a research. Of course, I didn't mention the right names, and also I didn't use, like here, I use the pictures without eyes. But yeah, and they said that this is no problem, that I can write about this, but then later we didn't have more contacts or to say what happened with them and if they're using some of these arts therapies. But it would be good, yeah, to have more of such things in these areas where it's everywhere. It's important. But in these post-war areas, it's yeah, it's long time to recover from this. Like
Yeah, please.
No, I just want to say that I come from this part of Slovenia, from Tolmin, that it was a war more than 100 years ago. And yeah, and you can feel in generations and in generations that it goes further, but just time is this that it's important to talk about this, to do something, that it's easier for the people, because otherwise they are stuck in this.
I'm also inviting now the other participants to ask Katja something with her presentation or even with her practice, because Katja is doing her own practice and she is combining different methods. I think also is interesting this method of releasing trauma, stress, and tension. So if there are any other questions for Katja and Katja's practice.
I was wondering when you said that you could see the post-traumatic stress in their the way they played, the games they played, and how they play with each other. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I mentioned there what can happen with children, like it was more like theoretical about this post-traumatic stress disorder. So the children that they had some post-traumatic, you can see when they are playing with each other. But here in our sessions, as we mostly prepared something, so with instruments, with movement, we couldn't really observe that something they were playing with each other. Even they were not really playing with each other because we give them something to work. So, but I don't know if they were in the other times when they were in this daily center. I can see that, of course, maybe these employees there, they can observe these things, what happened with them. But we were there just with these sessions. So these 40 minutes per day per group. So, and in this time, I more observed what we were doing with them. So there was not an interaction with them to have some play.
Do you now work with people with post-traumatic stress?
I work with disabled children, yes. So, and most of all, I do like this, that I combine a lot of creativity work with music, movement. Yeah, sometimes I go at home. So so that parents are also there at home, and I work with kids sometimes at schools. but now, of course, now as these situations, I can't go. But for some kids, I worked already for 4 years. And yes, and it's a really good, what I observed in all of these years, what happened with them as they were in kindergarten and now they're already in school. But it's always an improvisation. I can prepare, bring with me a lot of things, but then at the end they show me something, and then we do with this. It can be a balloon, it can be wherever. I just follow them, follow what their expressions, what they want at this moment, and try to do something creatively from this process. And this is always the best, because they really feel me if I just for a second think something else. So it's really touching how they are so sensitive.
I
Yes.
work right now with a boy.
Uh-huh.
It's like improvisational, but the parents like me and they trust me to work with him, and he's got some kind of DNK mutation. I don't know how to say it in English. And it's exactly like that. It's all improvisation. And when you mentioned that if you wanted to not photograph, videotape, if you wanted to record them,
Yeah.
they know they change 100%. And he's always like switching off my phone. He doesn't want me to record him. And I was
Yes.
thinking if you have any suggestions. He's got really bad attention problems. Like, I don't know how to say it in English. Odkrenljiva pozornost. Any techniques or ideas?
Yeah, also this this girl that I worked has also these problems with with this attention. Sometimes is different things can help. So I don't know, sometimes I use instruments that she can work with and to play, and I play and we do some improvisation with the instruments. Sometimes we work with some like play that I have some different animals on such a small how to say, on a wood, and then we play with these animals, like, oh, look, for example, elephant is going there, oh, what you have? And then she said, oh, I have a rabbit. Okay, well, she can talk. And then with this play, she's really in this and is so enthusiastic in this that then she's really attention. She has really good attention in this because she like it. And also with balls, I found that she really likes balls. So I have different kind of balls, and then we are trying or to throw one ball, then just to massage with ball or to squeeze the ball, or in this time I try to invent something what is good for her. Maybe it's the best thing to see what he really, or he that what he really likes, and that first of all then you do with this thing. I don't know if this is an instrument, if this is a scarf, to play with a scarf.
He really likes technology, so I was thinking, what kind of art can I combine with technology?
Okay, you know, if you like technology, I don't know how old it is, but I also once played with her with Lego, and then we were doing some Lego structure, and we built something, and then we have a play like, oh, look how this animal is going inside of this building, and she made something. I don't know. She said, oh, can we play with Lego? And I said, okay, why not? And so maybe find out what is really, as you said, technical, and then you try, because every kid is different, and it's the best, the best what is as you know him, or maybe also to talk with parents. And then you try to bring different things, and then maybe also to see what he would pick for the first time, what he likes. And then you start with this. I don't know if you have balls, scarf. I usually put my rucksack, and then I put many things inside, and she opens by herself. And oh, what you have today? Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, can we play with this? So maybe you try with this, or that you have some, I don't know, big how to say, box, and then you put in a box, and then you open, and they're putting out, and oh wow, this is so interesting, and then you will see what is interesting for this kid.
It's a really great idea with this box. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Katja. Erika, also, is there any other question?
I think there's a question in the chat from Erska.
Ah.
How did you work with the parents of these children too, or maybe together with them? So were you working with the parents as well, or just the children?
You mean in Sarajevo or now?
In your project.
In Sarajevo. In the project. Oh well, this was no, we didn't have really a lot of contact with parents. So just at the end, well, we met them in the stairs, and then we tried just to say something or to talk with them a little bit. But sometimes they were even not parents, but there were some grandparents that brought these children in the daily center. So yeah, just at the end we talked a little bit, but otherwise when we came there, children were already waiting for us. So many times we didn't see them, and even when we have one session after another, we couldn't, after the first session, we couldn't even meet parents because we have another session. So and they already left. So yeah, this was challenging. So these workers there, they told us something about the children, what problems they had, how is with the parents. But this is difficult also in this place there. It was not so open just to talk, and even they were not so open to talk about this because they have their own problems. So, but it was really good to work with parents, yes.
Have we got any more questions?
Yes, I have one question. So what's, in your opinion, the best questions that you ask the client before you, or their parents, before you start the therapy? So what is it good to know about the children, if you understand me?
You mean when I was in Sarajevo, or now in the work?
Did you get in Sarajevo, and how much do you think is good for the therapy to begin? Yeah, and what are maybe these questions? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. In Sarajevo, we just got really little information from these kids. Most was our observation that what we see. Even they didn't want to give us a lot of informations about these kids. So we can observe that they have like the syndrome, Down syndrome, or autistic spectrum. So, but more or less, not a lot. So even we couldn't really, because say so much with them, like, please, can you tell me more? Even it was a short-term therapy. Sometimes, when we start, we needed 2 sessions just for a start, or 3 sessions to feel comfortable with them. And then there were then maybe 2 sessions that were really fine, and then we need to start to end our sessions. So 6th and 7th, even 5th maybe, or also then 6th session, we need to say, you know, the next time it would be the last session. We try to tell them that we are really here for a short time, and because this was really important, that we're just not last sessions, then we are going. So we really try to be honest with them. So even maybe some of them didn't understand, but we try to say, you know, the next time it would be the last therapy. Yeah, here in Sarajevo, it was more challenging with this, because we couldn't ask for more what they want to tell us. So but here, when I started here with these kids in kindergarten, also they didn't tell me a lot about these kids, and sometimes for me it's better not to know a lot, because then I have more opportunity to observe what these kids are giving me, because if I have a lot of information, then it's even too much for me, and then maybe I start to think just in one way. But I like to see what I observe, and also I tell parents what I observe about the interactions, what I observe with eye contact, and then when I say something, they tell me more. So I start more to do a good relationship with children, and then with the parents. So then we can talk more openly. So for the first time, I like just to see what this kid is, how he or she is acting, not to know really a lot of information. Okay, something that is really necessarily, of course, is good to know. So if, I don't know, if they have some problems that you need to know, this is important to ask, of course. But this usually parents tell you, or maybe the question is good, that if just to ask parents, if it's something necessary to tell me, then I would be pleased to know about this. But otherwise, I will look about the first session, and then we can talk later more with you what I observe, and you can tell me more about your kid. It's okay.
Thank you. Is there any more question? I think it's really a good experience what you told now, Katja, about this, how important is that the therapist is always open and in the present moment, and that the therapist respects the circumstances and environment from where the clients, I mean the children, are coming. You know, so you have so many experience, you know, so it was really amazing lecture. And you give a lot of information to us today, so thank you. Because our time is running, so if there is any more questions, otherwise we will say goodbye.
Yeah, if there would be,
we are very grateful.
Thank you. Yeah, if there will be any question, you can also ask or write later, no problem. If I know, I can answer.
Yeah. Keep in contact.
Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Yeah, even if some words are not correct in English, I said it's the best that we know each other and to share what's really important. And for me, this is the more important, that to give and to share, that we can share with each other experiences, and that to help people around us. And the best is to be what you are. I really think this, to be present in the moment and to feel yourself, to be honest. Even if you say, I don't know, that's also better than just to try something. just and yeah, that you can hug yourself, and then you can hug others. So yeah, this is.
I understood you perfectly.
Yeah. It's not. I just say that, yeah, it's good that we can. It's good that languages are so open that we can understand with each other, and even if it is something a little bit wrong, no problem. That's the diversity, and it's nice.
Yes, but that's part of it. It's not all about language. It's about the other exchange of energy and all the non-verbal stuff as well that comes into play.
That's much more important, the body, than the words. So body tells much more, and the body is always right. Even if we say something that we are okay, but maybe our body tells not we are not okay. So our body has always right. And yeah, and I wish you all that really to be open and honest, and to feel what your body tells you every day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you also to all participants that you created this common space. Thank you, Katja.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
And also thanks to you, Colin. Thanks to you.
No, thanks to you too, and thanks to the universities.
Everyone. Thanks to everyone.
We can start thanking the universe and everything.
Yeah, thank you, Alenka. Thank you, everybody. So don't forget that next month we are still here, and it would be nice to join us again. I think the next guest it will be Yasmin Kafercek. She will have also a nice presentation and work with textile, so join us. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for great thoughts.
Yeah, thank you all. It's nice to see you here, really.
Bye.